Welcome to the Children News. I am Melanie and with me is Armando, and we will be bringing you your Children News for the month of January. Let's begin with our flag salute.
Please rise for the pledge to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that flag salute. It's birthday shout-out time. Today we have Leobardo Valenzuela and Mrs. Minoso celebrating their birthdays. Happy birthday to both of you, and we hope you have a fantastic day.
Coming up this week, today, first and second chance students meet after school. Monday is Martin Luther King Day, and there is no school.
Monday is Martin Luther King Day. We use this day to remember Martin Luther King and his contributions to civil rights. He is most well known for his campaigns to end racial segregation on public transport and for racial equality in the United States. Here is more about Martin Luther King.
Every year on the third Monday in January, our country recognizes Martin Luther King Jr. Day. This national holiday was created in 1983 to recognize Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., his life, his achievements, and his dream.
Born on January 15, 1929 in Atlanta, Georgia, Martin was named after his father, who was the pastor of the Ebenezer Baptist Church. When Martin was young, the United States was far different than it is today in many ways. For years, the United States had laws enforcing racial segregation. This segregation, or separation of races, meant that African Americans could not eat at the same restaurants, use the same water fountains, or even attend the same schools as white Americans. The places set aside for African Americans were almost always of lower quality and received less public funding. Many people, including Martin, felt that these laws were unfair and unjust. The fight to get these laws repealed is known as the Civil Rights Movement, and Martin Luther King Jr. grew up to become one of the movement's most influential leaders.
In 1954, King moved to Montgomery, Alabama, where he followed in his father's footsteps, becoming pastor of the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. After he completed his graduate work at Boston University in 1955, Dr. King turned his entire focus to the civil rights movement. Dr. King became famous for his belief in nonviolent resistance. He taught his followers not to fight back when they were attacked by the police or mobs. On August 28, 1963, a crowd of over 200,000 civil rights supporters gathered around the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. to hear Dr. King speak. His speech, titled "I Have a Dream," inspired the nation, and today the phrase "I have a dream" is a symbol for Dr. King and all he stood for.
King's policy of nonviolence worked well for the civil rights cause. As a result of his leadership and the success of the peaceful protests, King was able to work with President Lyndon B. Johnson to pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which made segregation of all public places illegal. Also in 1964, at the age of 35, King made history by becoming the youngest person ever to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize for his undaunted faith in the unarmed struggle he waged for equality and his call to all who work for peace.
Though segregation in public places had become illegalized at the state level, King's work was far from complete. In March of 1965, he organized a protest for voting rights known as the Selma to Montgomery March. The march drew a great deal of attention, and not long after the march, Congress passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965. As a result of this law, the percentage of African Americans who registered to vote grew from around 10% to nearly 65% in less than 10 years.
In 1968, Congress passed a new Civil Rights Act, which was also called the Open Housing Law. This law made it illegal for anyone, no matter his or her race, to be denied the right to buy or rent homes. Consequently, neighborhoods across America began to become more integrated. This Civil Rights Act was passed on April 11th, when only 7 days prior, on April 4th, 1968, while standing on the balcony of his second-floor hotel room in Memphis, Tennessee, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was shot and killed. He was only 39 years old.
Today, Martin Luther King Jr. Day is celebrated in many ways across the nation, from marching in parades to gathering to listen to leaders speak on tolerance, equality, and freedom, or actively participating in community service. And though the ways that we celebrate may be different, the theme of this special day remains the same. Martin Luther King Jr. Day is a day on, not a day off. A day to remember and continue on the works and the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Congratulations to our Regional Oral Language Festival winners. Bethany Newfield, Amanda Aguayo, and Nick Aguirre all earned second-place trophies. Matthew Penner Mendoza earned a first-place trophy in the humorous solo competition and will move on to the Kern County Oral Language competition on January 28th. Congratulations to all who participated.
Attention bookworms, RJH is hosting its first book club. If you are interested, come join us after school in room 311 on Friday the 20th for fun, friendship, and lots of laughs.
Are you interested in auditioning for Flag, Shield, or Color Guard? If you are a 7th grader, then please see Miss Minoso during lunch. Reese is in her room. It is 202 next to the Redwood office.
Students, a dentist will be coming to our school next month. Please take home the concepts that were given out to certain students and give them signed by your parents or guardians, and then return them to the office as soon as possible. Remember to smile happy and healthy.
Remember that junior high band students are pre-selling Deep Pit Sandwich dinner tickets. The cost is $7, which includes a Deep Pit beef sandwich on an onion roll. Pasta, salad, cobbler, and sauce meals can be picked up in the band room from 3 to 5 p.m. on January 26th. If you wish to purchase a ticket, just see a band student or Mr. Gross.
This has been Armando and Melanie with your Trojan News. See you tomorrow, same time, same station, and as always,